we are going to get to a Thursday night game, and I got to be honest with you, watching the Buffalo Bills this year has not really been aesthetically pleasing to the eye. And if you watch them today against the Patriots, it was a whole lot of ugly for a whole lot of time. And then they score late. They get the 2-point conversion, 25-22. Let's put the Patriots to bed. No. Patriots come all the way down, and Mac 10 gets a touchdown pass to Mike Gesicki, and all of a sudden, can you believe it? The Patriots upset the Bills in New England, revenge for the hoodie, and I kind of look at it and I go, yeah, Bills kind of deserve to lose. The way they continue, they should have lost last week to the Giants on Sunday night. You and I doing the show right here. This seems to be a pattern for the Bills. And like we talked about Justin Herbert in the first block, where I think like he gets a lot of breaks because everybody goes, oh, Justin Herbert's great. It's everybody around him. Well, Josh Allen's great. It's everybody around him. Interception, fumble lost again today for Allen. Yeah, they do have issues up front blocking. That is true. But at some point, you got to go, like, they just look like they sleepwalk, Wes, through a lot of football games and wake up, and then let's see if it's good enough when they finally wake up to come back, and they couldn't do it today.
Dave, I'm glad I went back for one more round on the New England Patriots.
You did.
I went back for one more round, and look, it was mainly not a play on the Patriots, obviously, based on what you've seen through 6 games. It was tough to play on this team, but with Buffalo, it wasn't just the close game against the Giants. It's the fact that you've got these 3 starters out on defense, and especially Matt Milano, who is like the leader of the defense. And I think that they miss him like crazy. And you also saw the fact that Ed Oliver was out, so I thought that the Patriots were going to be able to run the ball a little bit. They didn't run it great today, 24 for 96 for 4 yards a carry, but Buffalo couldn't get any pressure. They couldn't get any pressure at all. I know the Patriots got a little bit healthier on the offensive line than they certainly were, but they couldn't get any pressure. They had 1 sack on Mac Jones today. And Mac Jones, was very sharp. So, looking at Buffalo, there's something a little bit amiss. Maybe it's just, we've seen them kind of have these performances over the last couple years where they have kind of a stink bomb in there. Remember that game against Jacksonville a couple years ago where they lose 9-6?
Awful.
And they were like well over 2 touchdown favorites on the road to a Jacksonville team that, was then under Coach Urban Meyer, who obviously things were going.
You got beat by Herb.
Right. They did get beat by Herb. And, so you look at Buffalo, and I thought this was a good short-term sell, but now they're getting Tampa Bay 7.5. I think the look ahead I want to say was 8.
8 came down a little bit.
Yeah, and 42. So the total a little bit upwards, but with Tampa Bay, I just feel like they're kind of limited because they can't run the ball.
Right.
Now Buffalo right now can't stop the run, but Tampa Bay still cannot run the football. They weren't able to run it last year, even though Rashad White is a younger upgrade over playoff Lenny. They can't run the ball at all. I think 20 carries for 73 yards a day, 3.7 a carry for Tampa Bay. And, They were, I think, I want to say +1 in the turnover. Atlanta, the quarterback had 3 fumbles for Atlanta today, and Tampa Bay never really could take advantage of it.
That's amazing.
Even though they had 5.1 yards of play, 329 of total offense, could not take advantage of it. So I wonder about this game because if you remember Buffalo in week 2, they were laying 8.5 to the Raiders. I think it got bet down slightly, and then they slaughtered the Raiders in a home run
Coming off that loss week 1 to the Jets.
Yeah, and they were laying the same thing on the road today. That's right. That's why I just thought that the number was too high to lay to New England, and ended up being they lose outright 29-25. Now the number looks a little bit more reasonable at 7.5. I think maybe you'll have some people come in and fade Buffalo a little bit. And if this is 7, I think it's worth a lay on Buffalo. It's absolutely worth it.
Yeah, I want to get there with you because to me, again, it's also a play against Tampa Bay. From what we saw today, a game like that where the Falcons literally tried to hand it to you and you couldn't take it. So I think now we're starting to see what we thought Tampa might be a little bit. But Buffalo right now, we'll figure out what happens here as the season goes on. But all of a sudden, they've got 3 losses. And they keep, you give up 1 to Jacksonville. You lose to Zach Wilson. You lose to Mac Jones. they got to thank their lucky stars. They were able to beat Miami the first time, but the division could start to become problematic if they keep dropping these quote unquote lesser games.
Yeah. You've got to beat the bottom teams, and look, Miami has been doing that.
Yep.
And we saw what Buffalo did to Miami, and they absolutely smacked them around a couple of weeks ago. So they're not playing like the best team in the division, but until they get beat, you got to consider them as such.
Absolutely. So that number has come down, and I would have a small look to the over just to see if they can finally get that offense on track. And look, it hit the over did end up cashing today. Looked like a dead under for a long time of it because Buffalo's offense couldn't wake up. And this has been a pattern for them. They've got to get off to better first halves. And they have not done that the last couple of weeks against the Giants. They were able to survive it. They didn't score in the first half against the Giants. Mm-hmm. And then today again against New England, trailing before the late rally, but it wasn't enough. So let's see if they can get off to a better start at home against a team they should be able to get put some more points up on the board against the Buccaneers.
Go to VSiN.com/subscribe to become a VSiN Pro subscriber today.